Good morning. It is me, Pearl, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine aspects of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see this reflected back to us in our external interactions with others, in our outside world, etc., etc. And for today, we're going to do obstacles removed. And I have to laugh because we got the same obstacles for the two. So there's that. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start, I guess, with. I guess we'll start with Divine Masculine because he had the most cards showing. So we'll start with him first. Remember, when we do obstacles, we do head and heart at the same time. So we're going to look at the first off, just the general energy surrounding the obstacle. Okay. We've got death, upright, which is good. This is transformation energy. This is about rebirth. It is about something ending, something needing to come to an end. And then, of course, it's about new beginnings. So the headspace is like the end, death card. And then we've got the Four of Wands in reverse. So this is, to me, this is the marriage card. It is a card about celebration, a card about union, sacred union, relationship foundations. So it looks like the obstacle that we're looking at is the one surrounding the end of a past marriage or the transformation and rebirth of a foundation for a new one, something like that. I don't know why my chat isn't visible today. Oh well. Okay. So let's look at the obstacle. The obstacle in the headspace is devil, the devil. And the obstacle in the heart space is the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So we could be looking at addiction, we could be looking at codependent relationship, and if we're looking at the overall energy, the obstacle surrounding the death or the ending of a past marriage, it can be that there's this codependency, there's this responsibility. This Two of Pentacles is a card about having to juggle a lot of responsibilities, and it's not being able to juggle them when it's in reverse. It can also be about making a decision. So the obstacle is that the divine masculine has either been resisting making a decision about this codependent energy from the past, or he has made a decision and there's like a lot of overthinking, obsession, um, that's preventing him from being able to move forward. A lot of fear, a lot of anxiety because of the choices that he has made in regards to this past energy. So, where did this obstacle originate? God damn it. Oh, in the headspace, we are getting the Ten of Cups upright and the Three of Cups. Now, this is in a past placement. So, this obstacle of not being able to end or of having to end this past marriage or transform and rebuild foundations being difficult, being blocked. The devil energy can also, it can be sexual energy, karmic energy, choosing third party energy. But to get the Ten of Cups here with the third party, to me is sort of like there's two potential things. This could be that this block of this past marriage originated in a past marriage, a third party relationship, a family that this person has. And so this codependent toxic energy is coming from that past third party that was involved. It could also be that divine masculine's fantasies about what he wants with divine feminine, this what they want with divine feminine is his obstacle. this constant like fantasizing, overthinking, and worrying about her experiencing third party energy, worrying about third party energy coming between them in the future. But it's originating from the way he's behaved in the past, from the way others have behaved in the past, and um, because of some of the relationships that he formed in the interim as he's been trying to like level up enough to be able to come into union with divine feminine. I think this is how is this currently manifesting? Yes, how is this currently manifesting in the 3D? We're getting the Ten of Swords in reverse and the King of Pentacles. So it looks like if this was like this, I would say it's keeping divine masculine stuck, but it's looking like what's happening actually is that this obstacle is causing him to try to figure out how to end this painful separation that he has been going through. That's one potential. The other potential is that he has to use wealth to end the separation. He's having to get like a lot of financial security and abundance in order to unstuck himself from the situation or to um, pacify whoever has been betrayed. Because honestly, it looks like the reason why divine masculine has these issues with this third party energy and this difficulty in fully ending ties with this past marriage is because he betrayed the other person in the relationship. There was a betrayal on his part of third party energy. Like perhaps the divine feminine herself was the third party energy that came between the um, the two in the other partnership. And so it's his own betrayal and he's having to pay for it now. So currently in this situation, he's having to like focus on this material wealth and prosperity in order to pay for what he basically engaged in this painful separation. But ultimately, he wants to end the separation with the divine feminine, be able to be with her. That's what the whole obstacle removal is about. So, what can I just need to put this over here? What will help me remove it? All right, so what will help remove this obstacle? This Ace of Cups in the headspace, taking care of oneself, trusting in the divine, being having this cup filled by the divine, but really just choosing yourself, choosing to love yourself and not worry about this past Empress. This is the Empress in reverse, letting go of this potentially ex partner. It could be a mothering energy, just whatever third party energy that feels betrayed or abandoned here for divine masculine to move forward. What will help him remove this obstacle of this toxic codependent person that he's been juggling is to just remove her, is to choose his own cup and let this past energy go, let her experience whatever feelings she's going to experience in that process, but he has to choose his own self-love. What, who or what should I release from my past to move on? We're getting the Magician in reverse and the Nine of Swords in reverse. And this is a bound up individual here. Like they're tied, they're bound to something. The Magician in reverse is about powerlessness. So he needs to really release these fears that he's powerless to whatever this outcome that he is thinking is going to happen, that he doesn't have the ability to affect this manifestation. He's also has a lot of tools he could use and he's not really utilizing all of them. So there is this reluctance here to fully co-create. Instead, he's just trying to. What does that get you? A whole lot of this feeling. Like there's anxieties, worries by himself. And the thing that would help him turning to God, right? Like getting that cup filled by the divine, trusting in the divine, letting go of this person who has this kind of manipulation and control over him, because there is this manipulation and control here, and he's very susceptible to it. What can I learn from this current pause? We're getting the Hanged Man in reverse in the headspace, which is about gaining perspective. And we're getting the Five of Cups in reverse in the heart space. So what he can learn is, first of all, that and it's like, what can I learn in this pause? And the Hanged Man itself is a paused energy, but it's in its reversal. So he has the ability to shift out of this pause himself with optimism, instead of focusing on the blood that's spilled there, those 3 cups, on the pain that he has caused, and closing his eyes to the potential future that awaits him once he leaves this space of negativity and pessimism and fear and concern that everything is falling apart, and surrender really to the perspective, the deep perspective that Ace of Cups provide, which is that no matter what this toxic energy has cooked up, and I'm sure it's significant, because if there's been this kind of a bondage going on and this kind of threat, then we know that this Empress energy in reverse is not, this is not a friendly energy. This is a manipulative, toxic one that is fully capable of doing some nasty things. But the fear and anxiety of those nasty things has become more potent, more powerful than the actual manipulator in the situation. She doesn't even have to do anything except exist and be problematic. That's pretty much all she has to do. Divine Masculine fills in the blanks with what's going to happen when he completely detaches from this third party energy. So he's learning that he needs to surrender to gain this perspective, and that he himself is the one who has to end the pause through his own ending of this, like, pessimism, negativity, fear, worry, and anxiety. What can I look forward to once this obstacle is removed? Oh my God. Well, in the headspace, we have the Lovers, which is this manifestation of this sacred union of divine masculine to divine feminine energy. In the heart space, we have this really extraordinary 10 of Swords, which is the complete and total ending of the past energy that he's been unable to completely end, the end of painful separation, but also the end of those fears and anxieties. Look at those 2 hands. There they are. They're about to be pierced by the swords. Well, they've been pierced. These fears and anxieties, there's a completion here. If we can unpause ourselves, the situation, we can end all those fears and worries. We can have a completion of that cycle, end the past relationship that must end with that death card upright, and have what we truly desire. Okay. Well, go do that then. All right. Divine Feminine, let's take a look at you. Top of the deck, overall energy for you. You are getting the King of Swords in the headspace. And we are getting the 9 of Swords. Oh, look at that. In the heart space. So this is what your obstacle is in regards to. A King of Swords who is deep, deep, deep in his shadow. Icy, cold, aloof, not speaking truth, not in his integrity, not above the board, hiding things, potentially betraying. There's fear and anxieties regarding the silence, the complete and total silence that you are experiencing in regards to this masculine energy. If we look at this as your own energy, it is over strategizing. It can be conniving energy, sort of like the Queen of Swords, but a little bit more think like Game of Thrones, like the worst type of offensive, like Lord Tywin type energy, like tyrannical, and really like always having these ulterior motives. So it's like a masculine energy that feels like that doesn't feel like just in its integrity. And the block divine feminine has is worrying about this masculine energy not truly following through with his intention, like not really expressing the truth, and also not having clarity, not really understanding. It's like this King of Swords does stuff, and divine feminine's like, I have no idea what he means. I have no idea. Okay, cool. Like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Like, why can't you just fucking communicate with me directly? Okay. That's the energy surrounding like where she feels blocked. So let's look at her block. In the headspace, we have the Two of Wands in reverse. In the heart space, we have the Devil in reverse. This is so interesting because the Devil is the obstacle for divine masculine, and the Two of Pentacles in reverse is his heart space obstacle. So in the head and the heart, there's this decision making crossroads energy, and the head and the heart of divine feminine and masculine is a toxic, codependent, obsessive, overthinking energy. For divine masculine, it's in regards to a past relationship that he has been juggling, or third party energy that he juggles in general. Could be multiple parties, multiple lovers that he's juggling, which makes my skin crawl, honestly. Fuck. Divine Feminine's worried about this King of Swords juggling multiple parties, just being a real asshole. Because that's such an asshole. That's fucking true. Holy shit, go away, ego. Anyway, Divine Feminine's block is the twin flame journey, the Two of Wands, being impatient with the feeling of asking and knowing it's going to be received, but not seeing it. And so then getting like over strategizing, trying to make her own plans, trying to trick the energy, force the energy. The Devil in reverse is interesting because if it was upright, it would be the same as divine masculine, like having to release this toxic energy. But for divine feminine, I think it is the having to wait for the release of the toxic, codependent, third-party energy that is taking place for this King of Swords. And her obstacle is that she is waiting for this. And waiting for this is what's making her feel so bad, so worried, so anxious. And but the waiting itself is her obstacle. Let's see where this originated. Oh my God, what the fuck? All right. So divine masculine's devil obstacle originated in the 10 of Cups, in the head space, and the 3 of Cups in the heart space. Divine feminine's obstacle is the 10 of Cups in the heart space And the Five of Pentacles in reverse in the headspace. And this is such a creepy Five of Pentacles. This is a feeling of lack, of being abandoned, of being on the outside looking in, of not being able to see into the sanctuary. So being kept out, being kept out. And Divine Feminine has spent all this time building this fantasy, just like Divine Masculine. And then he has engaged in this third party energy and left her out in the cold. So this block originates from the same thing. Divine Masculine being a dog, basically. Cool. How is this block currently manifesting in 3D? The Three of Wands in the headspace. Again, that's that waiting energy, waiting for those pieces to fall into place, seeing the ships coming in. 3 is also about unity. So it's about waiting for this unity. And there's like a peacefulness here. There's a peaceful energy. There's a patience here. So she's being patient about this. And then we're getting the Page of Pentacles. So she's in reverse. She's having to be very patient with these fucking tiny gestures she's receiving towards this 10 of Pentacles Ten of Cups, towards her spiritual fulfillment. She is having to deal with these very small, ineffective gestures that don't bring anything home. So she's just having to patiently deal with either nothing at all, like doesn't even have anything to work with, or these incredibly small and pretty insignificant gestures towards what it is that she desires. What will help her remove this block? Oh, fuck. The Devil in reverse. Oh my god. Oh my god. And the Eight of Cups in reverse. So if the Eight of Cups was upright, I would say walking away from a toxic codependent relationship. But the Eight of Cups is in reverse. So, and this is what will help her. So I can't say, oh, she's resisting moving away. What would help her is not walking away at this point, is understanding. This is a strange interpretation of this card, but I don't know how else I would take it in this position. Understanding that some of these cups have these small gestures in them. Some of them have an incredible abundance. Getting afraid, being afraid, and letting her, the behaviors that have caused her to walk away from her desire and herself go into third party energy, or to just go completely into her fears and anxieties about this never happening, or to become completely obsessive, etc. Just staying where she is in this patience that she's learned and allowing these small gestures to take place at the moment. This will help her remove this block. It's like, what will help remove the block? But the block itself. The Devil in reverse is the block, and what will help her remove it is the obstacle itself, is just waiting patiently, not walking away, as Divine Masculine chooses to walk away from that toxic energy. So I guess it's releasing the resistance also. There could be, it could be that. There could be those of us that are releasing the resistance to walking away from a codependent relationship or a toxic relationship. That's another interpretation. So this individual who has been engaging in this toxic behavior, which we're looking at on the other side of this spread, 100% we're looking at that. Walking away. no longer resisting, but actually walking away. That's another interpretation for some neglective as well. Who or what should I release from my past to move on? I hate this reading. Okay. Two of Swords, upright, I'm sorry, in reverse. I wish it was. And the Sun in reverse. So, who or what should I release? The standstill energy, this unwillingness to make a decision because you don't want to lose what you think makes you happy. But you're mistaken. This happiness is, you can't enjoy it. You can't enjoy it because of the standstill that you're in. And you're in a standstill because you're willing to wait. And as long as you're willing to wait, divine masculine doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't. He doesn't want to. He is afraid of what will happen when he fully extricates himself from his past. So, as long as you wait for that, you won't be able to experience this fullness of this happiness that is present for you without that masculine energy. Like, there is already happiness and fulfillment here. We already saw the 10 of Cups card. This is almost like, where does this block originate? It originates from you leaving yourself out of your own happiness, choosing to wait to be brought out of the cold by someone else when you could have your own happiness now, right now. So you have to release the standstill on your own happiness. You can't wait for this person anymore, even if you really want to, because that in and of itself is the block. That's why there's nothing happening. Divine masculine knows you're waiting and is too afraid and concerned with his own issues to give a shit about you waiting. He's like, oh, she's gonna keep waiting. What can I learn from this current pause? The Four of Cups in reverse and the Seven of Cups in reverse. Now, the Four of Cups upright is about there being an offer and you not taking it because you're focused on trying to make these other old things from the past work. It's like, oh, if I just capture this rose here in this cup, then I'll be fine. But this is all fantasy. This is all something that's taking place. Your head is in the clouds. You're not really being realistic. And you're not taking any of the other actual offers of happiness that are being offered to you at this time. You're not choosing any other options. So, what you're learning right now is to make a choice. It's also about grounding in reality, about not waiting for something that is just a promise of a fantasy, and instead coming into the real world and choosing yourself and choosing one of the options that you have, because you have a lot of opportunities. You're refusing to see them because of this connection you have, this toxic codependent connection. Guess what? Your divine masculine side of self, not willing to let go, not willing to let go of this energy because he thinks he's going to lose everything. He's going to lose everything, right? He's going to be murdered, betrayed. So you're not choosing either. What can I look forward to once this obstacle is removed? The Four of Swords in reverse and the Three of Cups in reverse. So the silence, this period of grief, this healing energy where you have been unable to taste your happiness, to taste your fulfillment, to celebrate, because of this third party energy that has been either in the divine masculine side of things, or something that you entertain because you get afraid, you get scared, you get that because you're only seeing these small gestures, you get super afraid that divine masculine isn't going to walk away from the toxic energy that he's with. You're going to be alone and waiting forever, and you're like forgetting that you can choose to walk away from the toxic energy that divine masculine is with. Remember, because when you're waiting and holding on to divine masculine, you're also holding on to those karmics, the energy that he carries with it, the outside influence. Like, you're also attached to that and not walking away from it and not just being like, you know what? Fuck that. I don't care how much you love me. Like, unconditionally, I love you. Peace out. That's amazing. But like, there's a point where I'm unconditionally loving you and telling myself to fuck right off. And that means that I am engaging in a narcissist empath dynamic instead of a healthy dynamic where I love and take care of myself regardless of what you're doing. So, divine feminine, if you can let go of this, if you can stop waiting, honestly, and choose your happiness in this moment, you will hear, you will hear an expression and you will see a release of the third party energy. The second you choose yourself, divine masculine has no other options. None. It's either shit or get off the pot at that point. This reading annoys the fuck out of me. I almost didn't do it. Regretting my decision. All right, divine masculine, let's look at your oracles to see what can help you to remove this obstacle. You are getting right now, interestingly, the shadow attributes of nothing. This is the one card I leave in the deck that is a blank slate. Rarely does it appear in reverse. There's a sense here, divine masculine, of you being on your own. There's been so many messages that you have been given to release this third party energy, walk away from it, stop engaging it, disconnect from it. And you haven't followed any of those messages. You continue. So your current archetype right now, it's like you're not getting any advice. Usually when I get this, it's like, oh, you're a blank slate. You create who you are, like you're manifesting who you are. But this is shadow. This is like the universe is like, no, I'm not giving you any information about this. You need to figure it out on your own. You're refusing to surrender. You keep trying to do it all by yourself. So you know what? Do it all by yourself then. Right now, the shadow is that you're refusing to see how you are. You're refusing to see what it is that you're doing to yourself and to others. You're getting the Holy Spirit in a reversal, which for me is usually an emphasis on its presence, and it's a very powerful presence. But I feel here, based on the shadow attributes of that archetype card in this card, that you are engaging, you are disturbing the peace. There is peace right now that is here. And there is an unwillingness to embrace it. So it's like you're rejecting this these peaceful blessings that are coming to you from the divine. And it's kind of pissing off the divine, actually. There's like a feeling of like, you better look out because you're heading towards another tower moment. I find deeper meaning in personal growth amid the discomfort. This is like the tower card of this deck. This is really interesting, especially when I'm looking at the next image. So you have to find this personal growth here. You are so uncomfortable and afraid. And when you're uncomfortable and afraid, your MO is to do nothing. That archetype that's blank, doing nothing. Here we have the commitment card. This is so interesting because look, there's a dove there with the Holy Spirit, and then an eagle, freedom. And it's like interesting because you're having fear of commitment. That's what you're needing to end as well. One of the reasons why you have this toxic energy still involved is because you're afraid of commitment. You're afraid of engaging in another marriage because of the way the past marriage ended. If that or a past relationship, if it wasn't a committed one, but regardless, commitment represents peace and freedom. And for you, there's a fear that commitment represents powerlessness and bondage because that is the experience that you had in the past, right? Your pessimism, your refusal to gain new perspective on like what this will be like with a divine feminine energy is keeping you really stuck. Commitment represents peace and freedom, not bondage and enslavement. It's time to take action in its reverse, which for me on these cards is a huge emphasis. It's past time. Like Divine Feminine's obstacle right now is literally your obstacle, which means she's waiting on you to take action. Get grounded. The Four of Cups card in reverse, coming out in reverse in this Work Your Light deck. Empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature. This is stop fantasizing and come into reality. Make this real. And we're getting bee spirit. Sweet results await. This is the Colette Baron Reed Spirit Animal Oracle deck, number 7. And I'm going to read it because I don't get the protection message all the time for this card. The protection message is when Bee Spirit comes as your protector, she asks you to be very honest with yourself. Do you want to taste the sweet honey others have been making but you believe is unattainable for you? Do you wonder how others end up with so much magical honey when you seem to have none? Have you bought into the illusion of separation and become convinced that you can't have what others in the hive enjoy? Do you separate from the hive to do it all on your own or to hoard what honey you have, unwilling to trust that there is plenty of support and plenty of sweetness to go around? If you have been overworking and overdoing and have not given yourself any time to enjoy the sweetness of your life, Bee Spirit is telling you to stop and recharge. Perhaps you're afraid that if you don't get something done, it just won't get done. However, even busy bees need to take a break. And when they do, the honey still gets made. So remind yourself that sweetness is everywhere and available to you always when you need it. I mean, I don't know why else you wouldn't be heading towards what it is that you desire, except that you're completely afraid that it's unattainable or that it's going to be taken from you. Sweet results await, Divine Masculine. Just believe that. All right, Divine Feminine, let's help you out. Oh. You are in the Destroyer energy, releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for a new life, which is great. You are in an archetype that is going to allow you to release what is potentially destructive to you. What's potentially destructive to you? Honestly, this toxic ass relationship. You got to stop resisting walking away from it. It is not serving you right now. Right now, that masculine energy is attached to a codependent toxic energy. And it's not you. So he doesn't deserve your attention or focus. And you have to release what isn't serving you. To be focused on this person isn't serving you even a little bit. Speak your truth. Saint Bernadette is here with an emphasis. Speak your truth. There's a fear that if you speak your truth, you will lose something. But you never lose something when you speak truth. You only gain integrity, and you gain clarity, and those around you gain clarity as well. I am unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. We're getting this again. You need to be unapologetic about what you desire. You desire an ending to this toxicity, to the silence, to this coldness, this aloofness, this anxiety that comes from feeling like you're trapped in this cage awaiting the results of this person who's toxic. Dreams. This came out yesterday, upright, and now, or 2 days ago, upright, and now it is in its reverse, just like this card. And the same thing happened for Divine Masculine. It's time to stop dreaming about this and actually face the reality of it. And rarely do I tell people to face reality. I usually say, hey, make your own reality. But there are some instances where our refusal to face reality really, really wounds us. And my ego is resisting this reading 100%. I'm like trying to find ways to like make this not about my DM, and I can't. Because I don't want this reading to be accurate any more than you do. You are good enough, Divine Feminine. You are good enough as you are on your own without having to be attached to any other energy. You are good enough. Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided, and this is emphasized. So the guidance you're receiving right now comes from the divine. It is divinely guided. And the guidance that you're giving right now comes from the divine. So I guess I can't deny the truth that I'm speaking in this reading. And you're getting Fox Spirit in reverse. Think on your feet. This is 27. So we're getting the protection message. Are you camouflaging yourself to avoid intimacy? Perhaps you're being too clever for your own good and playing games to protect yourself. Being dishonest with yourself or others can become isolating and create obstacles to true connection. Fox Spirit calls you to be attuned to what is happening within you and around you so that your quick thinking and creativity can lead you to better relationships and situations. You are called to use your Fox Spirit beneficially rather than in ways that keep you from experiencing what you want. Or perhaps right now you are realizing that a situation is trickier than it appears on the surface, and you're afraid to make a move in case it turns out to be a mistake. Fox Spirit is here to remind you that when you are in alignment with the Great Spirit, the answers and solutions can come quickly, and you can trust them. Don't overthink a situation in order to avoid the challenge of facing a difficult truth. Fox Spirit's creative nature will always be there to guide you and help you move quickly into better circumstances. Don't overthink a situation in order to avoid the challenge of facing a difficult truth. Sorry, Divine Feminine. I hate to burst your bubble, but whoever it is that you are waiting for, that waiting is toxic for you. That situation that you're waiting for is toxic. It is not serving you. It is blocking you from experiencing your happiness or other options. It's time to think on your feet and stop trying to use your cleverness to get out to like, oh no, this meaning is this. Like I can see myself going back and watching this reading and still finding some way to justify my DM's behavior. The both of you are in union in trickster energy in reverse. This is manipulating others through duplicity. The light attribute is transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. So you're both being devils. You're both being clever. You're both being tricky. You're both trying to manipulate the situation. You're trying to manipulate it because you want the material fulfillment of this experience, and you've lost sight of the true experience, which is really the spiritual one. So you're entering into this shadow side of the magician energy where you're not co-creating together. You're trying to make things happen on your own. You're trying to force things to happen on your own. And you're also trying to trick the universe. You're trying to be like, oh, I'm working on myself for myself, when really you're just working on yourself to try to manipulate this situation to being how you want it. But that's your obstacle, divine feminine, is like waiting until the situation is how you want it and trying to manipulate that into happening. And divine masculine is trying to manipulate a third party situation and try to make that work out so that he can do what it is that he wants. None of that is in its integrity. It's all masks, it's all illusions, it's all lies. St. Mary Magdalene is here to support you with forgiveness. This is forgiving yourself for engaging in these behaviors. We only do these things when we're afraid. I used to say it. My son is a Gemini. He's sneaky. That's one of his faults. And I learned with him from a young age that he would tend towards just lying or fibbing to get out of a situation rather than telling the truth. It's just his personality. He's also shitty at lying, and I'm psychic, so come on. But I saw pretty quickly that what would cause him to lie was not any sort of inherent, bad part of himself. It was that when he was afraid of the consequences, afraid that he couldn't face them, afraid to disappoint someone, afraid of whatever, that he would choose to lie or be tricky. And so as soon as I would reassure him, hey, no matter what you have done, I will love you forever. My love, it doesn't go away. It doesn't. There's nothing you can do to take it away. So you did something. I know that you're not being honest with me. I can tell because I'm psychic. Sorry about it. And I'm your mother. So you need to tell me the truth, knowing that I'm going to love you. I might get angry. I might yell. I might ask that you solve this problem in an uncomfortable way for you, like having to go and apologize to someone or having to make amends or take accountability or responsibility, but you will never lose my love. So you can tell me the truth always, even if you're afraid to. So you have to have the same kind of forgiveness for yourselves, because the only reason you are doing this is because you are very afraid that you can't have what you want, that there is a reason that you can't have what you want, that you don't deserve it, that you aren't going to be able to keep it, that it's going to be taken from you, that whatever. That is the only reason we try to be manipulative or duplicitous, is because we are afraid. And so you have to forgive yourself for being afraid. It makes sense. This is a rare experience that you are both getting to have. Not everybody gets to have this experience. It's intimidating on many levels, spiritually, materially, etc. So you have to forgive yourself for your tendency towards trying to manipulate the situation, or for your pessimism and believing that it won't work out. My outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition. So, whatever you're experiencing right now in your environment outside of you, it is showing you what is within. That's what I say at the beginning of every reading. We're here to look at the balance between the divine masculine and feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our outside experiences, right? My outer experiences are a reflection of my inner condition. Empowerment. Empowerment, because right now we're feeling so disempowered. We're feeling, that's another reason why we manipulate. If you become manipulative, if you become strategic, you're feeling like a disempowering feeling, like you feel like you need to gain your power back. But your empowerment comes from self. It comes from that confidence, that righteousness, that you know you deserve what it is that you desire. That is what is empowering to you, not your ability to like mold the clay. This is huge. Work through your fears. Your fears are the only reason we're here having this shitty reading right now. Release soul patterns, contracts, and past lives, the both of you. Release them. Whatever third party this energy is, divine masculine, if you don't release this, I cannot help you. There's no more, you can stop coming to readings, because all you're going to see at every reading until you release this fucking contract is to release it. Period. And divine feminine, same for you. If you don't plan on like reevaluating who you're assessing is your twin or whatever soulmate or whatever thing that you're so fixated upon, if you don't assess and release that attachment, you might as well not come to these readings either, because it's going to say the same thing for you every fucking day too. Your belief that you are attached to any specific iterations is what is keeping you bound. You can't find yourself as long as you're looking for someone else. Badger Spirit is here telling you to be fearless and bold. Work through your fears. And this is 4. This is 4 of Wands, 4 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, solidity, stability. Badger Spirit rejoices at your persistence and commitment to what is true for you. Whatever you seek, your tenacity and faith in your partnership with Spirit is paying off, and the results will soon coalesce into form in your world. The gift of Badger Spirit is the surety that taking a risk now and being courageous, fearless, and bold will yield wondrous results. This is a time to harness your will and apply it consistently to the pursuit of your dreams. Know that no matter the temporary outer conditions, you will manifest your desires in divine timing and in the form that Spirit deems best for you. Badger Spirit says you have what it takes to get what you want, so assert yourself. Be fearless and bold, shining your light as your purpose calls you into the world. New relationships are also given a green light now. Don't be afraid to make the first move. Badger Spirit loves your brave and mighty heart. So, despite the fears and anxieties that are really your block right now, you are being told that you are fearless and bold and you can go forward and get what it is that you desire. I want my twin. That's what I want. I want to be unapologetic about that. Is my twin acting like this? Yes, he is. What can I do about that? Nothing except be patient. But if I get any other options, I have to consider them. I have to, or else I'm going to be stuck forever, waiting for somebody to be able to extricate themselves from whatever fucking bullshit they're involved in. that really irritates the fuck out of me, since I have done my best to extricate myself from those situations for the last fucking 10 years. So, whatever. Anyway, I know what I want and I want to be unapologetic about it, but I do not want to get trapped in a place where I'm just waiting for that to happen and that person just never does anything. So, we have to take this advice if we want to see improvements in our lives. And I do. I don't want to spend any more time alone. There's no reason for it. I'm fucking hot. Look at me. Like, what the fuck? You know how many people I could be with and I choose not to because of this fucking obstacle? I have to stop doing that. It's not okay. If you're in the same boat, you have to do the same thing. You have to consider other options. This divine masculine is stuck. Stuck. All right. Maybe he's going to prove me wrong today. We'll see. Let's see. Let's close the reading with some things we can do today that will help us remove these obstacles and move on into the next phase of our development. Okay. Please click like, please subscribe, please share. The description box below has all the links. You can find me at pearlsprayers.com. There's a tuned in tarot button. Click on that. There's multiple options for different readings I can provide. And that site is always being expanded. There is a button that says support. You can click that and just donate if you feel like contributing to supporting me along this process of making this record and also doing these free readings for you every single day. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. And let's finish off this reading. Divine Masculine, what can you do today to help remove this obstacle? We are getting for you the Mirror card in reverse, which says, mirroring each other, self-image, relationships reflect our wounds and introspection. And then we're getting the Phoenix, new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, and changed mind, along with the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands. So, Divine Masculine, I don't know that you're going to take this advice, but this advice is, first of all, this is to me like that Hanged Man card in reverse. Gaining this perspective, the ones around you that you are trying to extricate yourself from, the third party energies that you've been involved in the past, this is reflecting your wounds. They're reflecting your wounds back to you, the things that need to heal, things that need to transform. And there's I feel like there's a resistance here to fully understanding the reflective aspect of the spread. It's like the masculine energy is a reflection of the feminine energy and vice versa. So whatever fears or anxieties or worries you have about that feminine energy, it's merely your own wounds being reflected back to you. So if you're worried, oh, she's going to choose another option, she's not going to wait for me, and she's going to choose someone else, that wound, that abandonment wound, is being reflected back to you because she would be choosing someone else because of her fear that you're abandoning her, that you are not going to be coming in with her. So that is just a reflection. And there's a resistance there. There's a tendency, I think, to blame feminine energy for the things that go wrong. And it's like, no, the feminine energy is a reflection of what you need to fix in yourself. And that's what this Phoenix is about. You need to rise from these ashes. You need to step into this new phase, rekindle the relationship with the divine feminine, renew, transform. That's definitely what the Death card is about, transformation. Grow and change your mind. Change the mind which is convinced that you're stuck because of what's happened in the past and that you have to pacify energy with the material. Express. This King of Cups is go with the flow and express the feelings you have in this cup. And the Knight of Wands is go sweep divine feminine off her feet. with this expression, with this love, not with the inconsistency and ineffectiveness and sexual energy, dominant sexual energy of the King of Wands. I'm sorry, the Knight of Wands, but balanced with this Knight of Cups energy, which is more heart centered and about expressing the love that you have. So stop mirroring the energy, the fear based energy. Rekindle this relationship. You have the ability to do it. You have the words to express, you have the fire and passion with which to do so. So go do it. Divine Feminine, here's what you need to do. And I'm so excited to see that it does not release the twin flame. But it is two things: love, unconditional love, self love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction, right? We're getting with Girl with a Snake. I just saw 155 on here. Empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable and boundaries. We're getting the Fool in reverse, or the Joker card in reverse. And we are getting the Ace of Cups. So we begin and end these four cards with love, self love, unconditional love, oneness. In the center, we have the Fool in reverse and Empath and Narcissist paradigm, being charmed to use in boundaries. So, Divine Feminine. Divine Masculine is acting like a fool. He is engaging in Empath Narcissist paradigm, and you don't have to. You can choose to walk away from this. Narcissists need attention from the empath. Now, does Divine Masculine have narcissistic personality disorder? No. The Divine Masculine side of self doesn't have narcissistic personality disorder. Is it possible that you attracted an individual with that disorder? 100% yes. Most likely because you had a caregiver somewhere down the line that did have narcissistic personality disorder, and you learned the empath narcissist paradigm from them, and now you engage in those behaviors, and it's really easy for you to attract someone. So is it possible that the person that you're fixated on has narcissistic personality disorder? Yes, it is. Is it possible that that person is your twin? No. The twin flame is not going to have narcissistic personality disorder. They might engage in this paradigm because they're mirroring you and you engage in that paradigm, but the twin isn't like a sociopathic narcissistic personality disorder. And if you're seeing any signs of that in the person that you're interested in, the reading that said that you need to walk away, that's probably your message, because there is no healing there. That is a disorder, and that is not managed with any medication or anything. That is just something to avoid at all costs and to have boundaries in regards to. However, for those of us that are dealing with partners who have empath narcissist paradigm behaviors, the way to extricate oneself from that dynamic is to extricate oneself from the dynamic. So for Divine Masculine, he has to leave that past relationship, that distorted feminine energy, the Empress in reverse. He has to put up a boundary, a healthy boundary with that individual, and leave that individual. Divine Feminine has to maintain boundaries with the masculine energy. So when the masculine energy is engaging in narcissistic behaviors, Divine Feminine cannot give him attention. She can't feed that paradigm. The paradigm will die when the feminine is focused on her own self-love. Self-love means choosing other options if they come along. It means being open to other opportunities. It means welcoming love wherever it will come from. And this Fool card in reverse is about being cautious about this narcissist paradigm. It's also suggesting to me that the person that we're talking about here isn't somebody with this disorder, but is in fact somebody who's being foolish and engaging in these behaviors just out of habit and out of being stuck, honestly. And then this is self-care, taking care of yourself, focusing on yourself, and loving yourself. All right, let's see. And I'm getting, apparently the power at my studio is still out. might not be able to record today, which is legitimately disappointing because I really am ready to do that. Don't like that. Okay, bottom of the deck. Soulmates and the Four of Wands. This is soul connection, partnership agreement, and soul contract. And this is the marriage card, sacred union. So I do feel that if we can work through these fears and just release these last, honestly, it's like panic. It's like the panic that ensues right before you're going to go on stage. You know, you're like, oh, I don't know all the lyrics. I don't know all this. I don't know if we're going to, and then you just fucking do it. And I think that's what we're looking at today, because this looks like old stuff. And then the outcome is good. It's like divine masculine's outcome is, finally ending that separation and being in this lover's energy with the divine feminine. And divine feminine is finally ending the silence and seeing a release of that third party energy that has been plaguing the union. So ultimately, if you can do what you're called to do today, and I will tell you, I have been doing everything that I am told to do, and things are going well. When I watch these readings and I get to this part of the reading and we get to these cards, I've got the choice to do what it says or not do what it says. And right now, I'm going to do what it says. I'm going to work on my self-care. I'm going to keep healthy boundaries with this fool that is in love with me. And I'm going to be optimistic, but also grounded in reality about the potential for this connection, because the potential for the connection is fully on this ability for the masculine side of self to transform and grow, to leave behind toxic behaviors, to no longer engage in the empath narcissist paradigm. And that's not just a person outside of myself. That is me, right? The masculine energy inside of me. And if I try to think of like what my third party energy that I'm holding on to, I think for me, it's if I look at this position of like, where did it originate? It's that there is third party energies involved in this 10 of cups of mine, that it's not just my 10 of cups, that there's these other hands in the cookie jar. And it's like, I don't have a third party that I'm keeping, like, that I'm not getting rid of, as far as I know, unless my twin that I think is my twin is my third party, and I don't know that, but I don't feel that very strongly. For me, it's really just that there has been third party energy. And that's why the relief here is that there will be this silence will be broken. The information about what has happened, what has blocked us both, will be revealed. And that for me is an obstacle removed, because my obstacle is not knowing what's going to happen with this third party energy. That is not mine. But it is, because I'm focused on it with the masculine side of self. Do you see how this works? All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I shall see you again on Friday morning. We will do release and rebuild spread, hopefully bringing the two sides of self into union. I'm supposed to go to the studio today from 11 to 7, but I don't know if that's really going to happen or not. I really do hope so, because we only have 2 days this week, and I don't want to be delayed anymore. So pray the power comes back on at the studio that I'm supposed to go to in an hour and a half. I will see you Friday. And then, of course, don't forget Sunday with Grace Strega on Instagram Live. You have the ability to ask questions if you want to ask us questions about personal things that we can pull cards for you, or you can ask us to clarify the reading that we had just done. So we spend 30 minutes checking in, or you can ask us questions about our lives or reading tarot or whatever you fancy, and we shall answer them for you. So we didn't have one this past week because of the holiday, but we will definitely be on Sunday sometime between 4 p.m. and 7 or 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. rather, Eastern Standard Time, and 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific time. Oh my God. Okay. All right. I'm leaving now. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.